Now, insecurity in Nigeria seems to be affecting all sectors of the economy. Microfinance and economic development strategy intended to provide financial services such as credit, savings, microinsurance, micro-leasing, and payment services to the poor and low-income client has come a long way in helping individuals and groups financially. With the rising menace of insecurity across the geopolitical zones of the country, the ease of business activities in the microfinance sector seems to be dwindling, thereby affecting the economic growth of the country. Well, joining us now to look at Nigeria's economic growth from the microfinance perspective and the effect of insecurity on that sector is ADEGOKE Akinola ADEGBAMI. He's the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of MAINSTREET Microfinance Bank Limited. Is also the General Secretary, National Association of Microfinance Banks, Lagos State, and 2016 winner of African Prize for Leadership Excellence. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you very much.
Well, so insecurity and the pandemic affecting everyone, but and I look at the report from the National Bureau of Statistics. It says microfinance banks in Nigeria saw an 82% boost in lending in 2020. And I'm wondering what's going on here. What's responsible for this? Is it better loan recovery methods or increased competition in the sector? What are we truly seeing?
Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity to be here. To start with, I, as a person and as a subsector, we acknowledge the fact that there was a significant growth in the loan disbursements by the microfinance subsector in the year 2020. A number of factors were responsible for that. Part of it is the fact that just before the outbreak of COVID-19, a number of players in the industry were virtually positioned ourselves with the deployment of technologies in various dimensions to be able to deploy more credits into the system. Now, when there was an interruption by this pandemic, particularly when we have lockdown in Nigeria in the second quarter, we had to slow down. But the reality is that when we came back towards the end of third quarter and last quarter, we have to drive lending aggressively. The truth is that the risk has increased, but because this is our business, there's no other alternative. So we have to increase our risk management capacity and at the same time increase disbursement. A few other things that I would say have added to the fact that we have the growth is the fact that when there was devaluation of Naira, a number of people that were in the middle class had to drop to the bottom of the pyramid. A few people that were comfortable patronizing the commercial banks before, commercial banks are not going to attend to them because their level has gone down and their capacity has gone down. So they have to resort to the microfinance subsector. You also have the influence of the intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Central Bank of Nigeria, after the lockdown, introduced 50 billion naira through the microfinance subsector. Unfortunately, that actually went through only one microfinance bank, which is NASA MFB. But the truth is that of this growth, that there are 50 billion actually formed part of the growth that we have. At the end of 2019, the total disbursement, the total portfolio of the microfinance subsector was actually about 300 billion naira. But at the end of 2020, it has grown to 547 billion naira. So that gap, the 50 billion that the CBN introduced, is also part of it. But you will see that largely other players have played a very significant role in the growth of the disbursement. Now, is it that it has been easy. No, the risk has increased, but we are ready to serve the society. We are ready to serve the system, because it is in the system growing and being served that we are also growing. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And we do congratulate you that you were able to see ahead and inject some technological advancements before the COVID pandemic hit. But help us quantify, because many people appreciate the risk, what COVID did to a lot of organizations, but help us appreciate what insecurity has done. Give us an estimate of the cost of insecurity on your sector.
Thank you very much. First of all, we need to acknowledge that we are an important part of the larger society. And anything that affects the larger society will affect us. Usually, there are two ways we suffer this kind of thing, like the insecurity. First, it will affect us as members of the society. It will affect our family members. It will affect our income. That is one way. The other way is that the people we serve, they will be affected just like we are affected. But that effect on them is transferred directly to us. In that you now have people who have collected loan, not envisaging that we will have this level of insecurity. And now, because of the insecurity, some of them are displaced. Some of them have their means of livelihood disrupted. And some of them even have businesses with third parties that are affected. And if the third parties that they are doing business with could not pay them or could not patronize them, they will transfer that directly to us, because they will not be able to pay the loans they have collected from us. So we suffer directly from the impact of the insecurity in the country. You also have a situation whereby we have a number of our very good and capable hands who are actually running, looking for a way of escape and getting out of Nigeria. You discover that despite the fact that it's very difficult to get visa to a number of the Western countries, people are still so desperate to get out of the country. And we have a number of our staff who are to go. We also have a number of people who are on our list as our customers. Some of them are owing us, some of them are not owing us, but they are out of the list of people that we are serving. So it affects us directly. Now, you also have in a part of the country where to even conduct their businesses becomes almost impossible, particularly people who are into agriculture and its value chain. So when those people are out of business, the impact comes directly on us. Thank you.
Okay. And very quickly, let's talk about the recapitalization policy of the MFBs by the Central Bank of Nigeria. How is all of this affecting that? I know there's an extension of timeline to 2020. However, there's a deadline of 2021. Tell us, how's that going, the recapitalization policy? Okay,
thank you. Initially, the deadline was supposed to be 2020 and 2021. That means you meet half of the threshold by 2020 April and meet the 100% by 2021 April. But when the COVID-19 came and the CBN was engaged, CBN had to extend it by 1 year. So the first threshold is going to be April 2021, and the last one is going to be April 2022. Now, we have a few people who have met the first threshold, and they seem to have shown the capacity to also be able to meet the next threshold. But the reality is that because we are in an industry, an injury to one is an injury to all. Anything that affects somebody is going to affect all the other people, both directly and indirectly. Now, we have a number of our people who have not even been able to, they are not in position to meet even the first threshold. And largely, they are not being able to meet this threshold is actually a function of the impact of COVID-19.
Mr. ADEGBAMI, we have to stop you there. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.